Hi and welcome, I'm Jodi. Thanks for joining for Krannert Art Museum Yoga. Welcome to my living room. Happy Friday. Let's go ahead and get started standing. While you're standing, making sure that you've got a blanket, maybe a pillow. I have a bolster. You can have a couple blocks. Just something to offer a little bit of height for some of these postures that we're going to do. And then I always like to have a scarf or a strap or even just a long sleeve shirt. This can be really nice for some of the other postures that we'll get into. Some nice heart opening today. So oftentimes I'm finding that we're sitting a lot. We're in that deep flexion of the hips. We're kind of crowding in our posture. So it's going to be really nice to open that up. But for now, maybe you've been sitting all morning, so an opportunity to stand. Standing with feet about hip distance, maybe a little wider. You can spread toes, broaden through feet. Just grounding through the feet. You can rock forward and back a little, bending knees a little. You can circle through hips a little. Popping joints, mine just did. So waking up the body, finding stillness in the foundation, and then finding a nice tall spine, so there's space between hips and low ribs, and then space from low ribs to the arms, armpit area, space between ears and shoulders. Arms alongside the body, just a moment to stand and breathe and check in. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths together, breathe in through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale, finding release. Again, inhale, breathing, expanding. Exhale, releasing. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Bring hands to your heart, just a moment to check in with the heart, with the mind, with what you need from this practice, maybe even setting an intention for this practice. Beginning to interlace the fingers, press the palms away, bow the head heavy. And sway the head gently from side to side. Relaxing into the face, into the jaw. Still feeling that foundation supporting you. So legs, feet. Stability there so you can create movement in the upper body. And bow the head heavy, one more breath. And release the fingers, arms sweep down alongside the body. Starting to make rolls through shoulders, up, back, and down. Maybe slow and small to start. Over time, you can start to increase the movement, start to get the rest of the spine involved in this. One more time, rolling through shoulders, up, back, and down. You can start to reverse directions, up, forward, and down. Just sensing movement, sensing resistance. Crowding forward, rounding forward, hands to the thighs. You can wrap fingertips around the knees. Head heavy, tuck the tailbone. Finishing an exhalation, and then inhale, open the chest, lifting the gaze, reaching the tailbone back behind you. Exhale, rounding, tuck the tailbone. So legs are strong here. Deep, even breaths. And as you exhale this time, press the feet into the earth, rounding, rolling up through standing. Again, you can roll through shoulders, up, back, and down. Bring hands to the shoulders, start to circle there. So again, more of an opportunity to open up through the shoulders, maybe noticing where you've been crowding in a bit. So particularly squeezing back as if the shoulders could meet along the spine and the back body. Elbows drawing back. And start to, again, reverse direction. And then relax the arms and just start to sway from side to side a little. Let the arms just relax. You can always soften through knees as much as you need to, never compromising the joints as you move. waking up. Back through center as you slow the movement. Stepping the feet out wide, so you want to be kind of on the long edge of the mat. So you can step feet out wide, the toes angling out, the heels angling in, kind of a goddess squat. So again, you can wrap the fingers around the thighs, palms resting on the thighs. Inhale through center, and then as you exhale, bowing the right shoulder down, gazing over the left. Rolling up through center, inhaling, and then exhale, bowing that left shoulder down, gazing over the right. Rolling, pressing up through center. One more time from side to side. Think about awakening into the ribs. Movement of the spine. Back through center. And then you can toe the toes in, the heels out, hinging forward. Make sure you can touch the earth or something. Blocks if you need them. Starting to just shift the weight from side to side. Not a full wide-legged forward fold, but kind of wide. Just starting to warm up, starting to sense the hamstrings. Let the head hang heavy. One more breath. Starting to heel to toe the feet in. Let them go hip distance. The toes are out still, the heels are in. We're coming into a squatted position. Really let the hips be heavy. The backs of the hands can come to the earth. Bowing forward with a roundedness. Use your breath here. One more breath. Palms to the earth, start to release knees to the earth. We are coming to seated. So you want your feet hip distance apart, palms alongside the hips, start to windshield wiper the legs gently from side to side. And then over to the right side. You can begin to draw the left shin in. The top of the left foot is on the ground. So I'm getting a beautiful stretch into my quad. I'm also going to twist over to my right side. So right palm, right fingertip, left hand to the thigh. Press into the earth, find lift and length. Inhale, and then pressing and rotating over to that right side. One more breath. And start to release. Come back through center. Palms alongside the hips. Think about the elbows drawing in towards the midline of the body. Legs are heavy. Starting to tuck the tailbone and bend the elbows. Just opening up, particularly in that left thigh. You can lengthen, you can bend. Come back through seated. And the right palm once again alongside the right hip. You can start to inhale, sweep up. Start to circle through the arm. Maybe every exhalation, hips sit back down. Inhale, circling and lifting. Tuck the tailbone. Exhale, release. One more time. Starting to switch directions with the arm. Really start to think about opening the front of the body, really feeling that lengthening in the left side body. Next time you stay, or you lift, you stay lifted. Reaching, breathing, engaging the glutes, engaging the hamstring. One more inhalation. And as you exhale, releasing back down. The left hand to the shin, wrap the fingers around the shin, and then release the right ear towards the right side. Holding onto that left shin with the left hand and kind of leaning over to the right, getting a beautiful opening on this left side. Can nod the head forward and back over that right shoulder a bit. Breathing. stillness. One more breath. Lining the neck and release the palms alongside the hips. Again, you're going to plant the feet out wide, windshield wiper the knees from side to side. A few times just to work out any tension, reset the body, and then releasing these over to the other side. That left side, right shin is directly underneath the right thigh as much as you're able. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can release that out a little bit more. But really, we want to be on the top of the foot here. And then twisting over to that left side. So left hand to the earth, right hand to the thigh. Inhale, find length. Exhale, you're twisting to that left side, the gaze over the left shoulder. Breathe. One more breath. Slowly releasing your back through center. Palms again behind you. Maybe the fingers facing in towards the body. You can lengthen and lift here. Open through the chest. Tuck the tailbone, bending the elbows rather. Still tucking the tailbone. Still think about driving the kneecap out in front of you. Really finding beautiful length in that front right quad. Again, just playing with this movement. Eventually back through seated. Again, the movement here coming with the hips, left palm alongside the hip. You can sweep the right arm up, circle through the shoulder. Inhale, lift, exhale, ground. Squeezing the glutes, engaging back body. Reversing directions. Flowing a little with the breath. Next time you lift, stay lifted. Find that expansion, pressing the top of the right foot into the earth. Tuck the tailbone. One more inhalation, and then as you exhale again, you're releasing back down through seated. Bend the knees, feet wide, windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And as you come back through center, crossing at the ankles, rolling over the shins, you can come through your tabletop position. So from here, keeping the right palm grounded, reach the left fingertips towards that right corner of the mat. Inhale. And then as you exhale, sinking back, really reaching long through that left side body. Relaxing through the neck, maybe even resting the forehead on the forearm. Breathing. One more breath. Pressing back through a tabletop. We can pause here. Inhale, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. Exhale, rounding the spine, pressing the mat away. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Back through center. Left palm grounds, right fingers reach. Inhale. Exhale, sinking back. Opening up the right side body. I'm actively reaching through my right fingertips. I'm actively drawing the right hip back. Find what works for you to get the optimal stretch in that right side of your body. Maybe even deepening the breath. One more breath. Making your way back through center. From here, walking fingers incrementally slowly out to the sides, maybe corners of the room, the rear corners, maybe in towards the knees. There should be no tension or pain. Walking them back out, maybe spinning all the way around, fingers facing in. So working a little bit of range of motion here. Fingers facing forward once again, knees a little closer together, sinking back to seated. Flipping the palms around, the backs of the hands to the earth, lengthen through the arms, extend through the elbows, kind of round and bow through the spine. One more breath. Flipping the palms back around, back into your tabletop. So from here, doing something a little bit different today. You're gonna sink the chest towards the earth. Think about shoulder blades lifting and drawing together, and then as you press the mat away, nothing's happening with the elbows, you're just separating shoulder blades. So drawing forward. Think about the whole trunk releasing towards the earth and then pressing away as if you're puffing up the back body. Keep that puff. Just press into fingertips and knuckles. Engage the core. Draw the knees a little bit closer together and start to extend the right leg out. Tuck the tailbone even more. Press the mat away. Start to lift through that leg. We're going to pulse this. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage the core, draw the low belly in and up, tuck the tailbone, float the left palm. Just for fun, just for balance. One more inhalation, extending, exhale, releasing. So again, we want that kind of puff, so you can sink the chest low and puff it out once again. Tuck the tailbone, core is active, extend the left leg. Keep tucking the tailbone. That's where the magic's going to happen. You can lift that leg as much as possible, keeping that pelvic tuck. And then 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Extend that right arm, keeping that pelvic tuck, keeping core active, breathing, inhaling. A bit more lift perhaps, extension, and then exhale, releasing back down. Inner big toes touch, knees spread wide. Press the mat away, coming into your child's pose, forehead to the earth or to stacked hands. Just letting everything go as you breathe. One more breath. Press the palms under the shoulders. Come to seated on your shins for just a moment. Making sure that you've got a strap within arm's reach. So you've got that next to you on the mat. You're going to just slide out, palms under the shoulders, draw on the knees, elbows hug towards the midline. Engage the core, come all the way onto the belly. Baby cobras, lengthening, strengthening, lifting back body. Inhale, exhale, releasing back down. Next time as you inhale, check in with the low back. See if you can even float the palms away from the earth. Still maintaining strength in the back body and the legs. One more inhalation. Exhale, soften. This time keeping that same amount of exertion and strength in the back as you draw and drag the backs of the heels towards the rear, towards the heels of your feet, in fact. So a bit more engagement and lengthening. Maybe keeping that, you can lift a little bit more if that's available to you. Maybe even lifting the knees away from the earth. More of that up dog position, strengthening the legs as well. One more breath. The knees to the earth. Strong and controlled, releasing to the ground. You can bend the elbows to the sides. You can bend the knees, rest to the head, just sway the legs. Back through center, lengthen the legs. Rolling onto the right side. So from here, you're going to be all the way on the right side. This is going to be a balance challenge. So you want the feet to be flexed. So you're actually supporting yourself with that outer right foot. You're supporting yourself with that right palm to the earth. I'm just resting my head here. So this can be nice to have the strap or not. So you can travel the hand down the inseam of the leg, bring that yogic toe grip, first to fingers and thumb to the big toe, and then extend the leg. If this is challenging, then use the strap. You can just hook the strap at the ball of the foot and extend the leg. Depends on what feels comfortable for you. We're going to be here for a few breaths. You can have a soft knee. Again, you can use a shirt. You don't have to have a strap. I'm kind of feeling the yogic toe grip. You could even reach for the ball of the foot. Really, I'm driving and extending through that right leg. The pinky toe edge of the right foot is helping stabilize, as is my right palm. One more breath. So we're going to stretch the quad again, the front of the body again. I'm simply going to bend my knee, draw the heel towards my glute, catch hold of the top of the foot. So if that is challenging for you, it's not happening, then you're going to need to use a strap. So I like to hook the ankle with the strap. I want to have the knees in line with one another, and then start to draw the leg back behind. So again, you might not need this strap. Really opening up through that left shoulder. I'm lengthening through my body. Tuck the tailbone. Notice, whew, that really gives that stretch a little more engagement. Breathe. Releasing, gripping. We could probably stay here all day, but we'll just do one more breath. And then releasing either the strap or the foot, pressing that left palm into the earth, and you're on your right forearm. So we've got options here. I'm on carpet on top of my lovely yoga mat, and so I don't need any more cushion. You may want to double your mat over for additional cushion, and you want your forearm parallel to the top of the mat. Left hand to the left hip, engage. Really pressing and driving down the outer pinky toe edge of that right foot into the earth. See if you can lift your hips up. If that's challenging for you, go ahead and bend that top knee and then lift the hips up. So we're going to do 10 of these. So let's just count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, hold it for 10, maybe lift the arm, maybe lift that outer leg. And release, that's a lot. Again, you can press that left palm into the earth and then just resting on the right palm, bend the top knee so the sole of the foot is in front, and then really extend through that bottom foot. And you're gonna get a beautiful stretch in the muscles we just worked. This is just a really nice sequence. So we always think about core being the front of the body. When it's really the side, the back, we access that beautifully with our cobras. We're really just supporting the spinal strength and really bone strength. We don't think about those bones being very vibrant and alive, but they are. They break down, they rebuild, and that's got a lot to do with the action of the muscles on the bones. So really beautiful opportunity to build strength at the depth of who we are. One more breath here. So now it's really easy just to kind of flip over into a down dog, she says, or child's pose if you need it. And pedal out through your feet, bend knees. Or again, resting in your child's pose. It's your practice. What do you need? If you're in down dog, firm it up. Tone up the shoulders. Again, that action of pressing the mat away. Much like we did earlier when we were in tabletop. One more breath here. With that tone, and then release knees. And then we're just going to flip it to the other side. So now I'm going to lay down on that left side, really long through my body, resting the head on the arm, This is a balance challenge, so if you find yourself falling forward or back, really utilizing that outer edge of the left leg, really utilizing the palm. It's like, what do they call this? Reclining Buddha, I believe. So, your choice. I'm going to stretch this top leg. You can just glide the hand down the mid-seam or inseam. Words are escaping me today, it's okay. You can have a soft knee and really just access stretching the hamstring. Doesn't matter if you have a long leg. Doesn't matter if you use the strap on this side. Do what feels right for you. Again, finding length, it's as if we're, again, in that mountain pose and we just happen to fall over. So there's still engagement happening in the rest of the body without tension or strain. Even if you don't feel like you're engaging in balance, you are. It's happening. Subtle work is happening. One more breath here. Your choice, you could simply bend your knee. You want to align the knees to start, taking hold of the top of the foot. Tuck the tailbone and then drawing the knee directly back behind you. Really thinking about lengthening through that top thigh. Lengthening and opening the front of the body. Finding expansion in the chest. Breathe. So again, that opportunity to kind of undo all that we do all day, the crowding in of the posture. This is the opposite of that. So even if you are doing a home practice and maybe you're not sure what to do, these practices are great, you know, all these online offerings, but maybe you just need a couple minutes on the ground on your own. This is always available to you. One more breath. And slowly extend the leg. Plant the right palm. Again, you're propping yourself up on that left forearm if you need additional support. And I always like to be on the sticky mat, so I find that I was not on it. I utilize the sticky mat so I'm not slipping and sliding, so it's purposeful, these mats. So, forearm parallel to the top of the mat, right hand can be to the right hip. Just see, this side might be stronger. See if you can lift here. If not, again, you can draw that front foot in front and then lift from there, but we're still utilizing all of this core. And we're gonna pulse that 10 times. So 10, 9, 8, really lift, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. See if you can hover for this one. Arm extends, leg lifts. And then as you release, you're propping yourself up on that left palm, bending the top knee if you're not there already, extending through that left leg. And we're beautifully stretching those side body muscles and the obliques. Breathe here. Such a good stretch. Take a deep breath. Try that. It looks like we're just hanging out, but we're really, we're doing a deep stretch. Getting in the habit too of pressing into fingertips and knuckles of that supporting palm. That way the wrist doesn't fatigue as much. And then it's your choice. You can just come into a child's pose, but if you want, you can just flip on over, coming into your down dog. Your choice. A few breaths to reset to that more symmetrical shape for the body. One more breath. And then come on down to seated on shins. We are going to utilize some props. So whatever you happen to have. even if that means, you know, like a throw blanket from your couch, even if that means a chair out in front of you. Have some sort of stability for the body as we come into low lunges and then high lunges. So I'm using my blanket. I've got my 2 blocks. I'm going to utilize these. They're at the highest height at the top of the mat. So again, opening up the front of the body. I'm standing on my shins like a mountain pose, finding that length in the spine. Tuck the tailbone and just notice what that feels like. Make sure it's not too much for the body. See if you can maintain that. You can start to shift over to that left side, drawing the right foot forward. Then shifting forward and down, and then back. Opening and releasing. Tracking the knee forward. See what the body naturally wants to do. Maybe it wants to trek out to the side or the inside. And we want everything shifting forward, hips forward. Then starting to release, hands to something. Couch in front of you, a chair. Start to lift the back heel towards the glute and release it back down. That's 2, 3, really squeezing in. 4, 5, engage 6 without cramping. 7, 8, 9, make sure the knee feels happy. 10, keep it squeezed in, see if you can reach back. I need to extend through my leg to take hold of the top of the foot and then shift the weight forward, and I'm really getting that beautiful quad stretch. You can open up through the chest, maybe even walk that right foot out a little bit. Breathe. One more breath. You can start to shift back, give that knee a rest, starting to ride on the right heel. Really opening up through the hamstrings. That right leg, have a softer knee. Think about reaching the tailbone back behind you. Again, it's that subtle movement as you reach the front of the heart forward. And then starting to rebend the knee, replant the foot, curl the back toes under, walk the blocks out, and come up off of the knee. You can start to shift a little, finding that sweet spot for a stretch. Finding stillness. So I'm going to move my blanket, otherwise it's just going to be in the way. It's just going to be between my legs, and that's fine. I want to be able to ground the back heel. I'm in a pyramid pose. I'm drawing that right hip back. The hips are still squaring forward, actively driving the back heel into the earth. Getting that beautiful stretch in the calf muscle, and the more I can tilt and hinge forward at my hips, the more I'll feel the stretch in the hamstring on that right side. Breathe in here. Now, really grounding through the feet, engage through the core, spine parallel to the earth. Extend the arms out back behind you. And squeeze the palms together as if they could touch. And keeping that engagement, come through standing, starting to reach up, lifting, lengthening, really challenging the balance, making sure the toes aren't gripping. Think about 4 corners of both feet, maintaining your balance. One more inhalation, and then as you exhale, keeping the biceps by the ears, hinging forward at the hips to find your blocks once again. Notice, maybe you can lower the blocks a little, getting deeper into the stretch. Think about the forehead, one day eventually touching that shin towards the ankle. Moving the blocks out of the way, bending the knee, coming back into a lunge, sweeping that front foot back. You're in plank. So from here you can flow through a vinyasa, lower down. Inhale, cobra or up dog, does not matter. Exhale back into down dog or again your child's pose. It just depends on what you need. It's always nice to take those symmetrical stretches in between sides, see what's opened, see what's shifted. Staying curious about your body through the practice. One more breath. We'll all meet together on our shins, and I'm just going to kind of refix my blanket of support. This is my ground, so I want it to be stable for me. Repositioning the blocks as well. Standing on shins, eventually knees are happy. Plenty of cushion there. Shifting the weight to the right side. Drawing that left foot forward, hips squaring forward, and again, you're just going to shift forward and down, pressing the foot into the earth, rocking back, aligning the spine, shifting, pressing away. Again, this next time, shifting forward and down, finding your support, making sure that you're comfortable here in this low lunge. You can always use a pillow under the knee, so if this isn't enough cushion, and again, I have a nice rug underneath my mat, and the mat is double thick, and then I have the blanket, so I'm protecting my joints. There's no need for this to cause any pain. So we're going to do those hamstring curls for 10, 9, nice and slow, controlled movements, 8, 7, 6, really squeeze it in, 5, 4, 3, 2, and this last one, keep it squeezed in. See if you can reach back, take hold of the top of the foot, even if you need to bow back, and then sink forward and down. So really opening up through the chest and the quad. Maybe even walking that left foot out a little bit if you want to give yourself some room for that expansion. Breathe here. The more I can rest on top of that kneecap, almost on the quad, the more comfortable it is. One more breath. As you release the foot, it's a slow, controlled release back down, walking that left foot back in so it's in alignment, walk the blocks back, and again, I'm tilting the pelvis back, reaching forward from the chest, toning through the core, lengthening in my spine, making any adjustments to the blocks that make sense. Just those half splits. One more breath. So really always staying engaged in these poses, even if I'm not saying anything. There's moments of quiet that are really important here, just for you to feel. So we're going to start to bend the knee, plant the foot, curl the back toes, lift the knee, coming into a higher lunge. But really, in essence, I want to shorten this to come into pyramid pose. So that was just a transitional pose. Drawing that left hip back in space, right hip forward. And we're not on a balance beam, so make sure you've got plenty of room for the legs coming out of the hip joints so they're not crowded. So just feel spacious here, feel the spine grow tall. You can start to firm up through the feet and legs. Tone through the core. Spine parallel to the earth. Start to release away from the blocks. Arms sweep back behind, and again, squeeze the palms together. I always like to envision some sort of energetic ball behind me as I'm squeezing. Keeping that engagement in the feet and the core and the legs. I'm sweeping up, again, as if there's this ball of energy between my palms, so very active feel. Actively extending through the spine. What does that mean for you? How can you find that? Find your breath. One more inhalation to find that expansion with the breath, and then as you exhale, core, ground. Replanting the palms. Again, you can see what's kind of open for you. When we tone these muscles, we work them, we warm them, they're easier to expand and to lengthen. Find that expansion here. One more breath. So we're going to bring a softness to the front knee. Bring both blocks to the inside of that front foot. Start to pivot on the front heel. We're coming into a wide-legged forward fold, and I want to make sure my feet are symmetrical in space. I don't need the blanket at this point. I can move that off to the side. And I like to use my blocks. Maybe releasing forearms to blocks. Maybe releasing them down even more. So we step it down slowly, incrementally as the body opens. You can again have softness to the knees. Reversing gravity, release tension in the neck and the head. Maybe over time you don't need the blocks at all. If you prefer, you can even reach the fingertips back behind you. Start to think about compression. Again, the thighs towards the belly, belly towards the thighs. If you want this more active, or if you've just had a long week, you want this more restorative, just relax and hang. Really let the weight of the head open your neck. And take 3 more breaths here. Breathe into the entire body, this last breath. Feel the expansion, and then feel your strength, palms back to the earth, spine more parallel to the earth. Can heel toe the feet a little closer together, but our destination is that left foot. We're framing the left foot, all 10 toes facing forward, grounding down through the palms, sweeping back. You can just rest in your child's pose, or you can go through a flow. What do you need? What will serve you? Resting again, down dog or child's pose. Think about this as your reset. Symmetry, balance. What's shifted? More connected to the body. The breath. One more breath. Coming back to seated on your shins. Go ahead and find your strap or your long sleeve shirt or your scarf like I have. My inner big toes are going to touch, my knees are going to go wide. Take hold of the strap back behind. Even if you can interlace fingers, just use the strap. You can start to float the arms away from the back body and then release them a little closer. And try not to arch the back. I'm really trying to tuck the tailbone. Inhale, float away. Exhale, a little softer. One more time. As you float away, maybe you start to release forehead to the earth. Maybe the arms float up and away from the body even more. Think about opening the front of the chest, the front of the shoulders. One more breath. As you start to release the arms. This is the arms and the weight and the strength to draw you back up through seated on your shins. Strap off to the side. We want the blocks, so if you have those, great. You want to position them so that your wrists are halfway between knees and hips. Coming into Lolasana, draw the low belly in and up, see if you can float the shins. Releasing back down. Pressing palms, see if you can float the shins and extend the legs. Coming through seated. Just a little core and a fun little transition through seated. Fun, she says. Feet are wide, legs are long, pumping the backs of the legs into the earth. Rocking legs a little back and forth. Blocks can come off to the side. Make sure you've got plenty of room back behind you as you bend your knees, plant your feet. So we're going to play with core engagement. So some boat pose variations. Inner big toes touch, heels touch. Can the knees touch? Can you keep that as you engage core? Draw the spine tall, rocking back. From here, lifting the right arm. Inhale and release up. Right arm parallel to the earth. Inhale, left arm. Exhale, arm parallel to the earth. Keep rocking back, keep lengthening, and extend through the right leg. And release. Inner knees squeeze together, left leg. And release. Can you stay there? Maybe float the shins, squeeze everything together. And again, maybe right arm lifts. And left. Right leg. Left leg. Maybe both arms. Back down. Both legs. Giving out here. But one last push. Arms and legs. Belly towards thighs. Inhale. And then exhale. Lower down. Slowly with control. Maybe the biceps by the ears. Hollow body shape. Gaze towards the toes. Shoulders lifted. One more inhalation and then exhale. Come on down. Beautiful opportunity to stretch through the body. Spread fingers and toes. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then arms float down alongside. Tuck the shoulders away from the ears. Bend one knee, then the other. Feet planted. Tuck the tailbone towards the heels. Inhale, peel the hips and the spine. Away from the earth. Inhale and then exhale. Releasing slowly with control. We're going to do that a few more times. Inhale, tuck the tailbone, peel away. Maybe getting a little bit more length in the spine so you can get more lift. And then exhale, mid-spine, low spine, tailbone. Stay lifted here. So your choice, you can stay in bridge, or you can start to draw the toes back behind you. Maybe even shimmying down with the shoulders and the arms, taking hold of the tops of the ankles. Think about, as the heels lift, think about driving the knees down towards the earth. Tuck the shoulders under the back body. You can even lift up, coming onto the crown of the head. So a beautiful stretch for the front of the body. If you're super open, the knees release to the earth on the other side. Mine do not. Breathing here. I'm on my elbows, I'm on the crown of my head, driving the tailbone towards my knees and the knees towards the earth. One more breath. Protect the neck, untuck, and then shimmy slowly, one shoulder then the other, like a back body army crawl out of this pose. Maybe a nice long full body stretch once again. Bending one knee, bend the other, hug the knees in. You can rock gently from side to side. Finding stillness, separate the knees. Heels heavy, elbows heavy, belly soft. Little snap, crackle, pop of my shin or my ankles. Definitely losing my body parts today. One more breath. Draw the legs closer in. Squeeze the inner knees together. And as if you're pressing something heavy, palms alongside the hips, extend through the legs. Now, if you have low back tension or pain, you can go ahead and place the palms underneath the low back. And we're going to slowly extend through the legs. Let the heels hover away from the earth, and then inner legs zip together as you bend the knees. Draw the thighs in, and then extend through the leg. Extend long, heels hovering. Bending the thighs in. Extending feet skyward. One more time. As you bend knees in, we're going to start to reverse position. So extend the legs, heels hover. Start to draw the feet skyward. Bend the knees. Inner legs close together. Extend the legs like you're pushing something heavy away. Draw the feet skyward. Strong in the core. Bend the knees. Squeeze the inner legs together. Let's do this one more time. Extend. Hover. Extend and reach. Feet skyward. Bend the knees. Plant the feet. You can keep the hands where they're at. Lifting hips up, maybe even interlacing fingers. I prefer to use a strap for my bridge. We're going to use the edges of the mat. From your bridge, can you lift your heels, lift your hips, keep the hips lifted, and then ground the heels once again. Really find expansion in the front of the body. Belly soft. One more breath. You can untuck shoulders. Engage the core. Glide the spine down from the top to the bottom. That slow, controlled releasing. Extending through left leg. That's my left side. Bending the right knee. Taking hold of the right knee with the left hand, maybe extending the right arm out to the right side, twisting. And gaze over the right. And breathe. One more breath. Back through your center, switching out the legs, and then releasing, twisting over to the opposite side. Really finding that expansion in the front of the body once again. Breathe and release any tension through the breath as you exhale it out. Soften, relax in the joints, release any gripping in the face. One more breath. Start to release, come back through center. Your choice how you want to finish your practice. Do you want to go straight into Shavasana? Maybe you want a happy baby, reaching for pinky toe edges of feet, with a deep bend in the knees. The feet are skyward. You can rock here. Maybe extending one leg, then the other as you rock. Anything else that you need, shoulder stand, cloud, fish. And then eventually coming through your final resting pose. Just taking time to really set that up. Legs long, feet wide, arms alongside. There's alignment in the spine, there's alignment in the body from side to side. You can always have maybe that pillow or blanket, bolster under the knees. That can be nice if you've got tension in your low back. Breathing in through the nose, and then as you exhale, out through the mouth, melting into the earth. Feel complete in your practice. Resting here. Begin to deepen your breath. To reawaken the body with movement of fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching arms overhead, you can open and close the mouth into a yawn or a deep breath or a sigh. Bending one knee and then the other. If you need more rest and you've got more time, by all means stay. Otherwise, rolling onto the side, curling into a fetal position, pausing. Just see what you can take with you from this practice into your day. Maybe a new intention. You can keep eyes closed or soft gaze as you take your time, using arm strength, pressing back through seated. Just a comfortable cross-legged seated position, in any position, in any direction. Taking your seat with a tall spine and open heart, and hands to the heart in gratitude. Giving yourself a deep inner bow for keeping this commitment to yourself, for doing this practice, for honoring yourself in this way. And I'm grateful for the honor to lead and guide you through this practice. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you still coming and joining us for these classes virtually. We look forward to seeing you in person soon, hopefully. Miss seeing you. Hope all is well in your world. As always, feel free to offer feedback. We'd love to hear how things are going for you. Maybe if you want any specific poses or any specific body parts. So again, thank you and have a great weekend.